Hello and welcome to Roadmap 2019, where we talk to the major players in Nigeria's march to the polls of that year. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. Thanks for joining us. In every contest or game, there is an umpire. My guest tonight is at the summit of the umpire organization of the electoral process. He is convinced that Nigeria will have a credible, free and fair set of polls and asks citizens to play their part in making this dream come true. He denies that the umpire is lethargic and blames some of the problems being witnessed in the continuous voter registration exercise on financial constraints. Now, please join us as we speak to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu. Professor Yakubu, thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us, and thank you for giving us part of your time today.
My pleasure.
The continuous voter registration exercise, there have been a lot of complaints across the country. In fact, there are people who said that there's need for further decentralization of the process because people are finding it difficult. That's the observation, that people are finding it difficult to actually register. And I know that there are a large number of uncollected PVCs in various offices of INEC across the country. What are you doing about that?
Okay, well, you basically raised two issues, the uncollected PVCs and the continuous voter registration exercise, and the difficulties that some citizens are experiencing in registering. Let me address the issue of continuous voter registration first. A little bit of history. In the past, with every general election in this country, there was a fresh voter registration. The Commission took a decisive decision in 2011 with the introduction of the biometric voter registration, which captured 10 fingers of citizens in addition to pictures and other details. That going forward, we should go by the provisions of the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act says that there shall be voter registration on a continuous basis all year round. So in 2014, the Commission upgraded the voter register by a one-week continuous voter registration at ward level, which led to the compilation of the register used for the 2015 general elections. But the law says that there shall be continuous voter registration, meaning all year round. This is the first time in the history of elections in this country that voter registration is truly continuous all year round. The law does not prescribe the place where the registration should start. It doesn't say it should start at polling unit level or ward level. The law simply says there shall be continuous voter registration. So determined that we are going to apply the provisions of the law, the Commission examined all the possibilities, and I'm very happy with this question because it's an opportunity to also explain what we have done. The Commission first looked at the possibility of doing the registration at polling unit level. The polling units are the closest to the places of residence of citizens, and therefore a large number of citizens will have the opportunity to register seamlessly. But what are the requirements for registration at that level? As we speak, the nation has 119,973 polling units.
Basically almost 120,000.
120,000 polling units. If we are to deploy on the basis of 5 staff per polling units for all the activities associated with the continuous voter registration, registration of new voters, replacement of cards, transfers and relocations, collection of the PVCs, we reckon that will require 5 staff.
Per polling unit?
5 staff per polling unit times 120,000, that is 620,000 staff. The Commission has a little over 16,400 staff from the chairman to the driver. So it certainly cannot use our own resources internally. We'll now have to engage ad hoc staff, and we have to remunerate them to transport them. At 1,000
every day during this year?
Every day for that period. At 1,500 naira per day for each ad hoc staff, it will cost the Commission 1.2 billion every day in remuneration to ad hoc staff for the continuous voter registration at polling unit level. Meanwhile, In 2017, when we started the exercise, the total budgetary provision for the commission for the whole year was 1.2 billion, barely able to pay for the recruitment or the remuneration of ad hoc staff for 1 day. In addition, we needed to get security personnel, the logistics, including additional direct data capture machines for the 120,000 polling units. We needed power generators because many of the polling units are not even connected to power or even the national grid at all. So we reckon that in all, the Commission will require for the takeoff of that exercise about 137 billion naira, just for the takeoff of that exercise. Clearly, the Commission didn't have that kind of money to do so. But we said we're not going to give Nigerians excuses. The law says that we should register continuously. We must register continuously. We are here to actually surmount challenges, not to give citizens excuses. So we said, what was our plan B? We considered the possibility of doing the registration at ward level. We have, as we speak, 8,809 wards nationwide. On the basis of 5 staff per ward with all the power generators and what have you, we reckon that will require over 20 billion for the takeoff of the exercise at ward level. As I said earlier, our budgetary provision is only 1.2 billion. So we said, what was our option 3? Option C, was to do the registration at local government level. And INEC is present in all the 774 local government areas nationwide. We have staff that are remunerated every month. Already. We have enough power generators. We have enough machines. We can take care of the logistics. What was the cost at local government level for the whole quarter? It came to a little over 460 million. It was affordable out of the 1.2 billion budgetary provision for the CVR for the year. So we said we're going to start at the local government level. We knew that there will be challenges. We had no doubt in our minds that there will be. But we said, let us start and see what the challenges are and then do some reviews and address those challenges. So we started at local government level for that reason. Once we started at local government level, the citizens complained about distance. And then some of the machines we are using were machines acquired years earlier for the 2011 registration. The average lifespan of a single user computer is 4 years. But these are multiple user computers. We use the computers for training, we engage ad hoc staff, and in between we do other things with the machines. So we thought that we could do the registration at that level and then respond to the challenges as they arise. And what were the challenges? INEC should create more registration centers. We responded by creating over 300 additional registration centers. Then there were complaints again that we should create more registration centers. We created additional, such that we now have 1,446 registration centers nationwide. In addition, some suggested that we should carry the machines around. So we introduced the system of roving registration so that we can reach as many communities as possible. But the good thing is that in 2017, between April 27th when we started to the end of the year, we were able to register about 4 million Nigerians.
New registrants.
New registrants, 4 million new registrants. If you add this to the number of Nigerians registered in the first quarter of 2018, which is 2.9 million, so far we have registered about 7 million Nigerians. Now, the 7 million Nigerians would probably not have been given the opportunity to be registered if we had folded our arms to say we didn't have the resources, therefore we cannot do the registration at maybe the polling unit level or the ward level. So 7 million Nigerians have registered. In addition, we devolved the registration to ward level in Ekiti and Oshun because of the governorship election coming up in July and September. This is in the interest of equity and justice. We did so in Kogi, Bayelsa, Edo, Ondo, and Anambra, where we had off-season governorship elections, and in the Federal Capital Territory, where INEC conducted the last local government elections 2 years ago. It's the only part of the country where INEC is saddled with the responsibility of conducting elections at local government level for the election of chairmen of councils and councillors.
Right.
So we now devolve the registration to Ekiti and Oshun at ward level.
Right.